Namaste. Welcome. I am Yogi Ahimsananda. Lower back pain is a common problem in society today. It's an estimated that 60 to even 70% of the population suffers from some sort of chronic lower back pain. Today I want to share a little bit of warm-ups, a couple of asanas, and then a couple of cool downs that we can practice each and every day to help relieve some of that lower back pain. Now, of course, I always recommend that you have your physician's permission prior to beginning any sort of yoga or exercise practice. So assuming that you have obtained that permission from your physician and do suffer from lower back pain, hopefully this video will be a help for you. A couple of things that I really want to talk about first is safety. Safety is the biggest issue with so many different types of exercise, whether it's weightlifting or aerobics, martial arts, and various types of yoga. I emphasize that safety is number one and should be followed, held in the mind just at all times. Remember to be mindful and to understand your edge of comfort. What the edge of comfort really means is that if you're in any sort of asana or pose, and actually anything in life really, that you feel like if you go just a little bit further, that you think you might be able to, but you have that little worry in the back of your mind that, I might hurt myself. That's where we want to come back just a little bit and staying just away from that edge of comfort. So understanding the edge of comfort will help you to practice safely. Also, breath work. That's a big, it's something big that needs to be considered for your protection as well. If you're holding your breath and trying to get into an asana, you're going to be putting unnecessary strain on your body, and that itself can cause just little tweaks or twerks or spasms or some sort of additional pain or discomfort. So we want to be mindful of that. Practicing breathing in through the nose and out through the nose with nice, even, controlled breathing. For example, as you prepare to get into a pose, you want to breathe in and then breathing out. And I'll guide us through that today in this short video. Notice your thoughts and how you feel, okay? These are some general precautions that we'll want to take when practicing these sequences or any sort of yoga practice. And also stay grounded and centered. Be strong but relaxed, and always loving and compassionate. Again, avoid pain and discomfort at all costs, but don't confuse this with an energetic burn or an energetic sensation. That's good. We want to feel those types of things when we're in these asanas. It feels great and very energetic and uplifting, and you're going to feel some pain relief in most cases. But you want to avoid the pain and discomfort, and just understand, by keeping your mind centered, that going back to our edge of comfort, where we don't want to add that additional pain or risk any possible injury. Rest whenever is needed. There's asanas like Badakanasana or child's pose, things like that we can do to just regain our breath or just rest. And always there's a modification for any asana. I recommend things like pillows or blankets, blocks, yoga blocks, very affordable, and yoga straps. These aren't crutches, these are aids. These are tools that we can use to experience relief from any of our lower back pain, and also help us to avoid any potential injury or pain and discomfort. Again, back to the edge of comfort. Remember, it's all about how you go, not how far you go. Yoga is not a competition with anyone but yourself. Okay, there's absolutely no judgment in yoga whatsoever. So with all of that said, let's begin with a few warm-ups. And one other thing that I really want to talk about that I believe sometimes gets skipped over as I've seen some of these videos is that we want to make sure that our Mula Bandha, or our root lock, is engaged. Essentially, the Mula Bandha is, to put it delicately, the muscle in our body we use to control the flow of urine. We want the Mula Bandha to be engaged, not over-tensed and not too relaxed. This is going to also help us to prevent any potential injuries to our body, our lower back, and our internal organs. First thing that I'd like us to do is let's go ahead and try a few different warm-ups. And let's start with one of my favorite sets, is called Cat and Cow. Now what we'll do is we'll come into tabletop position. So in order to suture or transition, if you will, from the seated position, let's go ahead and and I'm going to be in the mirror from you, just as a quick reminder. So let's just practice that for a second. I invite you to hold out your left hand and make a stop sign with the hand. Notice I'm technically holding out my right hand, but in the mirror, we look the same, okay? So I'll perform in the mirror, and hopefully that'll help you follow along at home, hopefully on a nice big TV screen with, YouTube Live. So let's go ahead and suture to tabletop. So we'll take our left hand and place it onto the earth, just right about our thigh, knee area, just a little bit off. Raise the right hand. Let's swing the right leg gently around the body. Now engage both hands in front of us and gently pressing through the hands and bringing our left leg and knee through the center of the body and getting us into a tabletop position. And I'll show you from this direction as well. Notice basically we're making a table. Our hands are stacked underneath of our shoulders. Our knees are about a hip width apart. So this is the tabletop, or you could also have wide tabletop or narrow tabletop. And I'll explain that more in other videos. So from tabletop, what we're going to want to do is a couple of rounds of cat and cow. Notice my feet are disengaged, so the tops of the feet are on the earth. The hands, the Hasta Bandha, is pressing into the earth, nice and straight. And in steady, controlled breathing, I'll invite you to breathe in and arch your back, kind of like a scaredy cat or a Halloween cat. Tucking our chin to the chest, which is called Jalandhara Bandha. Our Mula Bandha is engaged. And also our Uddiyana Bandha, the abdominal lift. This is to protect the lower back as well. Breathing in. And then breathing out gently. Now making ourselves into a cow. Putting that kind of smiley face in our back and bringing our dristi, or our gaze, up towards the horizon. Breathing in, cat, and breathing out into cow. Breathing in to cat. Nice 3 count on that breath in, slight pause, and then breathing out into cow. Notice the feelings in the body. We're basically just moving the spinal fluid around and getting things warmed up in our back. One more cat, and then cow. Very good. Very good. So then we'll just come on back into tabletop. And then one thing that I'd like us to do is go ahead and step back with our left and then our right foot and come into plank pose, or a push-up position basically. Press through the hands and coming back into Adho Mukha Shavasana, or downward dog. feeling the back starting to just stretch out and open. Staying with steady, controlled breathing. 3 counts in, pause, and 3 counts out. And then as we gently come back out into that push-up position or Badakanasana, plank pose, come on back into tabletop. And then again, we're going to go into a basically a summit balasana is what I'd call it, or a child's pose. So let's press through the hands and bring our seat back down in between our heels, and then gently touching our forehead to the earth. And then just breathe. This child's pose is also a very good resting pose, as I touched about before, Balasana. But we're also stretching the mid-back and the shoulders, hopefully relieving some tension and pain there. It's going to help take us some tension and pain out of our lower back. Getting that stretch right through the thoracic and the lumbar region of the spine. We'll hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. Breathing in, feeling all the tension, noticing all those spots. Slight pause, and then as we breathe out, imagine releasing that tension and pain, wherever it may be. And on our next exhalation, we'll come back up gently into tabletop. Okay. Now, from tabletop, let's go ahead and again, we'll work on a couple of other asanas. I want to do Sphinx with you all. So what we'll do is we'll step back again with our left and then our right into Badakanasana, and then Chaturanga. Just basically do a push-up and then come all the way down to the earth into prone. Just bringing the belly and chest and pelvis to the earth, the knees and the legs, and disengage the toes. Now just resting our body on our forearms, let's make ourselves into the Sphinx. So just gently pressing through the elbows, forearms, and hands. We're putting a slight bend in the back and then looking forward. Again, watch that edge of comfort. You can always smile here as well. Nothing ever wrong with that. And you're basically just making yourself into a Sphinx. Nice and gentle. I'll show you from this direction as well. So we were in tabletop. We step back into Badakanasana, Chaturanga, down to the earth and prone, disengaging the toes, sliding the hands up gently, up to the fingertips touching towards the edge of the mat. Now we're on our elbows and forearms, and gently press through, bringing our drishti, our gaze, towards the horizon. Be mindful of the neck. You don't want to bend it back too far and cause pain. Just right about here, nice, normal, comfortable feeling. We don't want to press too deep into that lower back. It's just right where we can find some tension being released. Steady, controlled breathing. Excellent. Then on your next exhale, go ahead and kind of press through the hands, coming up onto the knees, and then just come all the way back again into our child's pose. What we're doing is we're counteracting the back bend. We bent the back one way, we want to bend it back the other way. Breathing and relaxing, noticing our thoughts and our feelings. Positive energy is also a great big healer here. And then in our next exhale, as you're breathing out, you'll come back into your tabletop position. Now from here, we're going to want to cool ourselves down a little bit. So a couple of ways we can do that is let's go ahead and transition or suture ourselves back to the seat. Here's how we do that. We'll step out with our right leg. So you got a nice bend in the knee here. Foot flat onto the earth, just to the side. Bringing our right hand up towards the sky. Pressing through the left hand and swinging our left leg through the center of the body. And now we're back to the seat. And while we're in the seated position, we'll come into a posture called Badakanasana, or cobbler's pose, butterfly. There's different names for it all. I use a little bit of Sanskrit as well as the literal translations or fun English names that are commonly used. So what we're going to do is one called Supta, which means reclined, Badakanasana, or a cobbler's pose. In order to do that, we'll just go ahead and bring our feet together, touching the soles of the feet. Placing our thumbs just, right in about the middle of the foot and open it like you would a book. Spine is straight, nice and strong, not rigid. You can imagine a string on the top of your head, and if you lift it up, then you would also be straightening the spine. So you can practice that as well. Keep that spine straight. And here's where a blanket can be helpful if you have one behind you. But essentially all we're going to do, and I'll show us from this side as well, is recline back. So first we're opening up the hips a little bit more, getting that stretch in the groins and inner thighs. Spine again is straight, strong but relaxed. The Mula Bandha is engaged. Our Uddiyana Bandha, that abdominal lift. Let's go ahead and just bring the abdomen in, protecting our lower back and our internal organs. Then what I'll invite us to do is gently walk ourselves back. So you can take your hands and place them back behind you and off to the side a little bit. And then just gently start to walk the arms back. Maybe come to an elbow on one side and then the other. And then gently just reclining back. Our hands can be relaxed. We can have them folded over our heart, or sternum area. Holding your hands over the heart and chest just to remind you that you're safe. Just feeling comfortable and relaxing. Bringing the tension off of the lower back, stretching the inner thighs, all at the same time. Nice, strong, relaxed, and stretched legs is going to also help you relieve a lot of pain from the lower back that's caused in the pelvis region. So this is going to also help us with that in our hips. Notice we have a slight bend in the back as well. You're going to feel that in your lower back, bending up. So we've got to counterpose that. And after your next exhale, just gently bring one leg up and then the other, touching the knees together. We've got basically like a nice mountain with our legs, feet flat against the earth. And then what I'll invite you to do is take one leg, doesn't matter which one, and bring it towards the chest, and then just hold on to just, the lower knee, upper shin area. And then do the same thing with the other leg. So now that we're kind of holding our knees together and touching right on the shin, breathing in, and as we breathe out, start bringing the chest, or the knees closer to the chest, excuse me. And we're doing knees to chest pose. Try to keep those knees together. So you can draw in your hamstrings and your quadriceps, actually I should say quadriceps, bringing them in and touching the knees together. And then gently pulling down on the shin or pressing down on the shins, drawing those knees a little bit closer to the chest. Relax those shoulders. If you find any tension on one side versus the other, notice that. Breathe into that area. Let it go. Then perhaps a slight twist now that the spine is warmed up. What we can do from this position is take our, this is my left hand, and we'll go ahead and put it over onto the right side of the body. Just right about the outside of the knee. Take the opposite hand and lay it flat onto the earth. Breathe in, and again, a blanket or a block. I'll show you what the block actually. Let's grab a block. So we're at that knees to chest. Take one hand, bring it over the body, touching the outside of the opposite knee. And then gently pressing down, bringing our knees still together, closer to the earth. And then we can just rest them here on the block. And you can have your block anyway. If you can go a little bit further watching that edge of comfort, you can. But I recommend you can stand it up this way. Actually, this way is probably better for more stability. Again, blankets or pillows is fine if you don't have a yoga block. You never want to do a twist until the body is nice and warmed up, especially the lower back. Both shoulders are on the mat. We're looking up towards the sky, or you can even follow it over. That'll do a little bit of stretching in the neck and shoulder as well. Whatever feels good for you. Then I just take the hand, put it underneath the knee, and start to press up and help guide us back into that neutral position. Switch our block. Now, again, from this angle, bringing the palm of the hand to the outside of the knee, and then gently pressing down while we're holding and grounding ourselves with the hand touching the mat. Breathing out, nice and slow and controlled. Into our twist. Nice, steady breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Knees are still together. We're guiding ourselves back to a neutral position. Let's just hug those knees one more time for a breath or two. And then extending the legs. Nice and slow, touching the heels to the earth because we're not wanting to put a lot of pressure on the back. And then just sliding one heel at a time, easing our way into Shavasana, or a corpse pose, essentially making ourselves into a corpse. Getting our body in a position where we feel like we never have to move again. As we scan through our bodies, starting from either the head or the toes, working your way up or down, doesn't matter. Just breathe in through each area of the body, not skipping any of them, and noticing tension in any of those parts as you breathe in. Become aware at the slight pause, and then release them on the breath out. Gently closing the eyes. We work up from let's start with the feet, noticing the toes, the foot, ankles and the lower legs. Finding that hidden tension, maybe in spots and muscles in the body you never think about. Working up into the thighs and hamstrings. And paying special and close attention to the pelvis, to the small of the back, the tailbone area, and our lower back. Notice any additional unnecessary tension we're holding on to. Breathing into those areas. And breathing out to release. Working our way up the spine, into the middle back. Perhaps there's some tension we're holding on to there. It's causing additional tension in our lower back. Everything is connected. Into the shoulder region, the arms, the hands and fingers. Neck, proper neck posture is also a culprit for lower back pain. The way we sit and bend. I invite us all to become a little bit more mindful of this in the future in our daily lives. Notice any tension you may have in the jaw, the cheeks, forehead. Becoming aware of that tension. Breathing into it. Breathing out. Doing one more final scan of the body. Top to bottom, extra attention on the lower back, pelvis and hips, glutes, finding any additional tension we might have. Breathing into those areas, breathing out to release the pain and discomfort. Before we come out of Shavasana, we don't want to cause any unnecessary shock to the body. We want to bring our bodies out of it nice and slow. So begin by gently wiggling the toes and the fingers, bringing life back into the body, getting the blood flowing, maybe stretching the feet, rolling the ankles one way or the other gently. Let's get a good morning stretch in. Bring the arms up above the head. And then as we gently set up or roll, you can come to the side and roll, or set up nice and easy. Gently open your eyes and smile. I thank you all for inviting me into your home for this lower back pain short sequence that you can practice anytime, any day. Try it in the morning before work, and then try it again in the evening before bed, but just not too soon after you've had dinner. And always remember to drink plenty of water after this practice. And with all that, I wish you happy health and relief from that lower back pain. With great love and great respect, I am Yogi Ahimsananda. Thank you, and Namaste. We'll see you next time, folks. Go ahead and click here or wherever it is to subscribe. Check out another great video from Star Yoga Live. Bye, everybody.